what's your input? Just your opinion of polygamy.
I think polygamy is an interesting topic because it's a very tough thing to quantify based upon religious beliefs, but off of just practicality, depending on the mindset of the women and the man, it could be fantastic. I just think that in America and the freedoms and the things that, people like having stuff to themselves, I don't think polygamy would be as easy to convince a lot of women since they've been taught that they're supposed to just be one and one.
Yeah. So I think that if it's legal to have create a family, break up a family, create another family, break up a family, create another family, break up another family, create another family, break up another family, create another family, break up another family, why is it illegal to create a large family and they all stay together? To me, it doesn't make logical sense. The results of broken homes speak for themselves. And if there was a way where people would not have broken up their home and could have worked together, still had the same qualifications under the law, the same ability to grow their family, grow their wealth, um, practice actual group economics. I, I just think that would be a much better society. You know, I think it would be a much better society.
I agree. And one of the things that we hear from women a lot is that there's very few good men out there, right? And so instead of having a bunch of women running around single or, struggling through the dating market, I don't see why it wouldn't be more productive for the men who are capable of handling more than one woman to be able to take on more than one woman. And we're not talking about like mistresses or side chicks or any of that stuff, right? Like owning the responsibility of multiple women through marriage.
Yeah. What was your thoughts on it? You didn't let us know what you thought about it.
You said me?
Yeah, you didn't give us your thoughts on it. We already gave ours.
You know what? I am down for it. I'm down for two. So if I were to meet a man and he's the man for me, I'm okay with one other companion. Not 3 or 4, but one other. Because I can't say that it will be easier around the household. We could be buddies, but I want it done the right way, the religious way, not the ghetto, overly sexualized way. I'm okay with that. Okay.
Yeah, I think people.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think people look at it from just a sexual stance, but that's probably the least important factor of that, right? So, yeah.
So my question to you is how would you, Shan, navigate the pleasure portion? Would it have to be you get your time in and then
so the right way will be he would spend time with me and he would spend time with her. It would be equal timing. It's not like an orgy, the little fantasy that you have in your mind is I want it the real Muslim way. How about that?
So that's the real Muslim way.
Yeah, about it. You can hold on to 2, knock yourself out. We're gonna have 2. We're gonna put it to the test.
Hey, listen, I don't mind being tested.
May the real men stand up.
I don't mind being tested. But I would say that I don't think many women would want to be sharing something that they care deeply about.
I think that depends on.
I have another topic, so y'all talk it out, and then I have another one to add on to this. But go ahead.
I think that depends on how you quantify like love. If it's a finite number where you can only have a certain amount of affection and love for one person, then I could see how you could make that statement. But if you view it as abundant and infinite, then it wouldn't be sharing something because there's no end to it. It's like it's just quantum. It's continuous. So it doesn't have a parameters the way, you know what I'm saying? But that's a different frequency probably when you think about it from a stance of it's not possessive ownership where you limit and put somebody into a smaller box. It's kind of expansive in the way you view it. Like I love all my kids equally, right? I don't just love one more than the other one. So I kind of view love in that way where it can be more than just I can only love my firstborn and then the rest of the kids it's over.
Well, do you think that a lot of women have that same mentality?
I think in the right situation, you never know, right? So I think right now, because of like it's so taboo, I would say absolutely 40% may have it, 60% don't, because society is changing and we see all types of different relationships developing. But I think like the biggest hindrance right now is like it being taboo. Because in actuality, we're practicing a bad version of cheating and broken families when that would be a solution as opposed to that.
I think the other side of that too is that possessiveness and that unwillingness to share comes from a place of like the man demonstrating he's not actually equipped to take on more than one woman, where there isn't that level of equality amongst the women. There isn't that level of fairness and righteousness that's delivered amongst the women. And I know you're making a face, but I need you to understand that from a woman's perspective. Like Shannon and I are two very different women. Our feelings and reactions to things are very different, right? So for a man to juggle those where both of us feel like neither one of us is getting the short end of the stick is something that's beyond a lot of men's skill set. And so when it comes to those feelings as a woman and that lack of security, that man needs to demonstrate like, hey, I can handle this, as opposed to it's just going to cause more conflict and more turmoil.
Okay. So I'll say this. I originally disagree with you as far as saying that it isn't a skill set. To be able to manage expectations and be able to create an environment where people feel secure with more than one woman is quite the task, because one woman is a task, right? Just for some people. Now, where I differ or disagree with you as far as what you were just stating, I don't think a lot of women have the mentality that even if a guy could do and had the skill set to balance multiple women and make sure that that environment felt safe and secure, I would argue that most women, especially women that are Christians, most women would think, nah, we're not sharing. That's not how it's supposed to be. And since the beginning, it was one and one. So I think there will be a number of women that would agree to what it is that you're saying in the best situation. But I would say majority, over 70%, would probably decide not to go that route because they think it's supposed to be one to one.
Are you quoting from the Bible when you saying in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
How many polygamous couples were in the Bible?
Not a lot, but there are very select few examples where they gave reasonings for polygamy. Very few. And I used to have like, you ever hear how much people would love to talk about Solomon and how great and wise he was, and he had all of these women, he had wives and concubines. He had everything under the sun, right? And nobody actually like turns the page after they give him all his accolades, right? If you just turn to the next page, you find a lot about Solomon that was jacked up, right? Because of these extra women that he had. Well, not because of the extra woman, it's because of the strange woman that he had. That's what it specifically says in the word. It says strange woman. But I always look at it as like, it's hard to, when you look at regular biblical scripture that's based upon the Christian standard, it's hard to reconcile polygamy as being a widespread practice based upon the consistent themes that is shown in the Bible. And a lot of women claim to read their Bible and claim to believe it. And this is what they try to quote when they're trying to do whatever it is that they're trying to argue.
I'd like to also add that Christianity isn't the only lens people view the world through. So there's that. Because, well, you know, you probably could speak more into this part about Islam.
I agree. Christianity isn't the only religion. We got Buddhism. We got Hindu. You got people think Tai Chi is a religion. You got people creating their own religions. You got Satanism. You got Muslim. You got everything under the sun. You know. So I just think majority of women, even devoid of religious significance, would rather feel like I want mine and I don't want to share it because of how I feel and how I would think. Kind of like, I won't say it's on the same level, but if you saw your woman sleeping with another guy, you're going to feel some type of way. And I think sometimes women feel similar, that if somebody that they feel like is theirs is sleeping with somebody else or giving their attention to somebody else, you're going to feel some type of way.